Hey guys, so welcome to Cambridge. We are currently in the city centre of Cambridge. We're in one of our rent to SA properties, which is a 4-bedroom house. It's 4 stories because there's a basement and there's a basement flat. And I wanted to share the story of this particular property as a case study for you. I call it the coward 10 others. And the reason for that is because in our first month of operating, we took 10,500 from one guest for this property, and I want to share the story with you. So this property is actually a property direct to landlord, okay, and landlord's a lovely guy. Initially this house was rented out as an HMO, okay, and we took it on as an SA. So it was quite exciting because it was a student HMO before, and what you'll see throughout this sort of clip is what we managed to convert it into, so upgrade the whole property. Now the biggest challenge we had with this house is literally we had 4 days to turn it around, and we had one tenant who just wouldn't leave the house. The challenge was that on the 5th day at 9 AM we had a guest, a big Middle Eastern family, so a lady who literally had 10 kids checking in, and this naughty tenant just wouldn't leave. So that was a bit of a headache, but you have to put all your negotiation skills into one pot. So we tried everything with her, and I got the removal van to come to this place actually twice in the day. She finally moved around 11 PM, and she was a bit of a hoarder, so her room was an absolute mess, and it was the biggest room in the house. And thank God I had a very good power team. So not only do you have to build good relationships with landlords and other people, but you also have to treat your contractors and your power team well, because literally those guys work throughout the night to get the room ready for us, which I'm so grateful for till this day. So obviously a massive positive of this house is it's a great house to turn around, firstly, and secondly we actually had the client before we had the property, and that's so the funds were secured before we actually got the property on. Now look at numbers and a setup of this place. So we charged our guests then £350 a night, and they stay for 30 nights, okay, so that's roughly 10,500 income that we took for this property for the first month. In terms of our outgoings, we were lucky in terms of we got a 3-week rental free period, okay. Obviously we had our rent, which I can't disclose to you, and our refurb costs, but in a nutshell we managed to earn all our startup costs back in the first month of operating. So when people do their data analysis, and what I mean by that is how much you can rent your place out on a nightly basis, they usually look at Airbnb, Booking.com and other sort of booking platforms to try and see, gauge what kind of nightly rates they can rent their apartment or their place out for. I would say yes, use that to a certain extent. We didn't know that we could rent this out for $350 originally, but however, it's you got to look at your product, okay, and where does your product stand in the market. Now in Cambridge there's not a lot of 4-bedroom houses with a basement flat, right, which means that if there's a business plan for this family to come with so many people, they obviously wouldn't want to check into a hotel for a month, and there's nothing else sort of big enough to accommodate that amount of people, so you can actually put your charges up. So obviously this house did really well over the summer period, and it got a little bit quiet, I would say, from sort of December onwards for a couple of months. So this is what we did. So the basement flat is now rented out on a monthly basis. We rented that out for about $850 a month, and the rest of the house is still rented out on a service accommodation short lets basis. But what that's meant is that we've had to drop the price a bit, so now it rents out for about $250 a night. So now you know the background story. Click that subscribe button. Let's go for a tour around the house.